Here we go, we're talking about Floral Shop again. If you have not seen it already, I've already made a Floral Shop vinyl review video that discusses the actual pressing itself, from the history, packaging, sound quality, the label that pressed it, and much more. This time, however, I want to take a deeper and more technical look on the significance of this record finally being pressed and what it could mean. Whether you put in an order for the record or not, I'm here to discuss why Floral Shop finally coming to life on vinyl could change everything for Vaporwave. As of now, it seems a lot of us are receiving our records from Old English Spelling Bee, and if you haven't, please hold tight, as I promise you soon we'll be able to experience how awesome it is to own and spin, whether with friends or on your own. But today, let's really dig into what this record could all be meaning to us on a bigger, yet to surface scale. Over the years, we've built our once little community as this private escape for ourselves to get away from the outside world of overplayed mediocre radio hits and basically just general everyday things we find meaningless. The music and aesthetic of Vaporwave and similar genres have obviously found a way to nestle within our intrigue-seeking instincts and bring us back for more listening. However, after all these years, we've really been given limited options in terms of listenability. In the early Jurassic stages of the genre, most material was purely digital. As time started to pass and more songs were being pumped onto the internet, finding a track you liked could be fated to become short-lived, as it would have needed to be liked or favorited on SoundCloud, because if it wasn't, or if you didn't remember the name of the song, the natural regulation of songs being uploaded and taking over older songs of these type of platforms would pretty much make that song you like disappear forever, lost within the virtual garbage can of backtracking. Don't get me wrong, there was an ironic charm in that too though, as it made our music feel so disposable and questioned the integrity of the genre as a whole. Yeah, all of it was so weird and interesting. And then, cassettes and sometimes CDs became an option, and more so a norm for production and purchase, and to many it felt like home. A lot of us loved the cassette attitude for the genre. Not only did they look pretty once your collection started to build, but that signature sound quality that emits from a cassette feeding its silky tape is a sound style that resonated with the core knockoff vibe of Vaporwave sound. So yeah, a lot of us were happy with that, but for some of us freaks who love the nice smell of a vinyl record, we were left vacant in our collections of any music from the genre. I mean, every once in a blue moon we'd see a vinyl release, but I'm talking blue moon, especially in the early days. And once 2015 and 16 swept through, we saw a couple. Manipool by Vaporer came to life. George Clanton was dropping heat like Virtua.zip on 100% Electronica, and St. Pepsi's banger Hit Vibes hit homes on that cherry red vinyl we all still want so bad. But it just never felt like enough. I mean, look at other genres. Rap, mainstream rap gets a ton of their stuff pressed, but so does underground rap as well. A lot of underground rap, as a matter of fact. Mathcore, another genre I absolutely love that also really isn't that huge or mainstream or anything like that, gets a ton of their stuff pressed on wax as well, and their artists can profit from that. Whether it's mainstream or hidden, I do tend to see a lot of genres taking advantage of this recent trend of vinyl record interest and cashing in on the profit opportunity coming from that style of physical production. And I don't mean to sound whiny or envious, but I've really always wanted the same for Vaporwave. We have so many amazing albums and projects to choose from, and as we can see how some of these pressings selling out so quickly, proving to be successful, vinyl seem like a trillion-acre land filled with untapped oil. Now, I know there's obvious obstacles we're gonna have to get through here in order for my vision of a stampede of vinyl record porting to occur. First, and probably the most inflicting, is the issue of copyright problems arising from the use of unpaid-for samples in the albums. Vaporwave, future funk, and other similar genres currently aren't full of cash-heavy investors, whether it's an artist or a label or someone else, to spend on paying off the original artist they sample in their work. It's definitely going to be tough for that reason, and that issue alone can knock out a ton of potential artists here. But Floral Shop seemed to defy that obstacle with the Floral Shop pressing. They pushed through, and that thing is plagued with samples, some more expensive than others I'm sure, and after doing some research I couldn't 100% find a confirmed source that stated they paid for the copyright here, but they had to, as this run they did was on a pretty large scale compared to previous Vaporwave releases on vinyl. Usually you see like 300 or 500 at most, sometimes 1,000 for that new 200% Electronica George Clanton stuff. But with a record pressing like Floral Shop and the constant amount of records that were sold, I mean, we kept seeing this thing going from sold out to not, and then tons of people buying it to the halt and then right back up again. They have to have paid off these samples. They must have known that an album like Floral Shop was going to be, you know, widely spread out. It wasn't going to be this little thing. So I can't see them avoiding copyright here, so they must have gotten that done. I also tried to find if the pricing varies throughout each sample. How much of a difference would a Diana Ross sample cost compared to something way less famous on the album, on the B-side for example? Another reason that we don't see as many vinyls getting pressed could honestly come from the time it takes to produce the physical records to get to the labels and artists to ship. Cassettes are way easier and can pretty much be pressed at home and at a way quicker rate to hit that mark. Print out some nice quality cards for the cassettes, rip your music to the cassette, and it's kind of set in stone what to do there. Vinyl record pricing also runs at more expensive rates with the less quantity you order to get pressed. And remember, these artists and labels aren't boasting and flexing with cash money here. They're most likely people like me and you who live a pretty ordinary day-to-day life and possibly with other jobs. Since they don't have the initial capital to make the investment on ordering a large amount of vinyls to lower the price per unit of each vinyl, they would have to settle at buying a low number quantity of records, which ultimately leads to the price per unit of the records to be pretty high, which also ultimately cuts our profit margin here. And here is where the importance of Floral Shop really comes into play in terms of its vinyl pressing coming to life. We all know Floral Shop is the cream of the crop for the community, as people who aren't even that familiar with the genre would possibly know about the album at least due to its notoriety throughout the internet. It's big name albums like this in our community that need to get pressed at high volumes first. And Floral Shop proved that. Old English Spelling Bee clearly made money pressing these babies. They further advertised their record label in itself by causing so much public attention, whether it was good publicity or bad publicity. And it's these big name vaporwave albums that not just have popularity within our community, but also reach some outside people. Those have a lot of potential to sell. For example, when news of Floral Shop being released was posted onto the Vinyl Releases subreddit, a subreddit that, as the name states, posts upcoming vinyl releases, it was upvoted to be one of the highest upvoted posts of that subreddit of all time. And remember, this is people visiting this subreddit on a large scale of music taste and interest, not just vaporwave heads. There's a clear niche to be taken advantage of here, and people are interested in collecting for it. Now, I also do want to reach out into other scenarios besides vinyl, as I know I do talk about vinyl all the time. It's just my thing. I really want this conversation to also include the general hope of growing vaporwave even more from the pressing of Floral Shop, and that would come from other things besides possible financial growth for artists and labels with vinyl record sales. For example, let's talk about live shows. We have all seen some artists in the community, Blank Banshee is a great example, start touring a lot and hyping up their tours at a level we've never seen before. I mean, whoever envisioned seeing vaporwave, vapor trap, future funk, etc. live? I'm sure some of us have been scared to even think of the thought of a vaporwave artist playing live. I mean, would it just be a big cringe fest? But guys, check out some of these live videos from these artists and they look chill as hell. From Vapor Trap's Golden Boy, Blank Banshee touring everywhere with some solid looking sets, to future funk icons like Macross and Night Tempo recently touring in Asia and burning it up. Live performances are bringing our community together in person and growing the musical family we've all been adopted into. These types of social growth, outreaching, and different ways to hear the music by bringing all of us together will provide us with more ways to experience the music as a whole. Yes, there was a charm in the early days of vaporwave as being this simple, online database of musical weirdness, but personally, I'm ready for a change in the genre. I want to see vaporwave music making norms ignored. I want to see artists grow and brand and sell more merch and make us represent the music we love so much. Like, imagine one day a single musical festival devoted to vaporwave. Imagine that, a musical experience never seen before with aesthetic, artwork, stage props, and more, taking over some random area in the middle of the woods. Or walking into your nearby record store and seeing a vaporwave section with albums to sell, available at your fingertips when deciding when to buy, and not just hoping the mock-up on Bandcamp is as good as it looks when it gets to you in real life. Don't sleep on us, world. We're a pretty weird group of people, but we have a lot more creativity than you think, and honestly, than we personally think of ourselves. Envisioning vaporwave at a bigger level might seem pretentious, unnecessary, and forever out of reach due to the original basic aesthetic of it being cheap, hidden, and unknown throughout the internet, but I do think we could experience a whole new style of music and branches of music like we've never seen before blossom out of these types of steps to success. And Floral Shop is a big step to that success, and it's a big beast of an album, especially on vinyl, and owning it feels like I own a soon-to-be piece of vaporwave history, something that took a lot of work to be accomplished. This single record in itself could be the proof, the line that was crossed for our community to not be afraid to step to higher levels. It's the hope, confidence, and reassurance that we have an audience and can really grow our sound to people throughout the world. This is an important time for the genre, and this pressing proves it by the fact that it's somehow existing in our record players today. I do think it's kind of greedy when people try to keep a genre within themselves and get pissed if it becomes mainstream or if someone else likes it and you have to act all, oh, but dude, I heard that first. I think that's kind of babyish, and you know, we shouldn't think that way about this music. We should really try to spread it and grow it, because who knows what could happen. I really do expect to see more and more big name albums being announced on vinyl, and we've already seen that happening as a matter of fact. Death's Dynamic Shroud, I'll Try Living Like This, and Cat System Corp's Hereath are just some of the albums that were announced to be coming to vinyl after the wave of orders that went in for the Floral Shop pressings, and it proved to be money-making potential. So we're seeing all this possibility of our kick-ass genre charting some unknown territories, and I gotta tell you, I am truly excited for that. Hey my dudes, I'm going off the script here a little bit, but I just want to say truly from the heart, it means a lot that you guys are commenting and subscribing and just spreading the word about this channel. I really want to grow this thing, and I love having this, commenting forum to talk to you guys and get a conversation going and just really talk about things. Yeah, I really suck at talking on the spot, so I'm just going to end this video. Subscribe because I'm making more content and this channel's only going to get better. Trust me on that. Thank you guys. Your boy, Pat Jennington.